again, looking at the behaviors, to really suss
Mhm.
out, well, if you really value that, then you're doing a poor job of it. So
Yeah, that's a really good point with the values. Like, yeah, we've talked. By the way, I'm hitting the live button, so
yeah,
it's going live. But and I actually let it go public this time
again,
because
looking at the behavior.
just yeah. So yeah, that thing about figuring out your values. And then I was reading something about boundaries and saying your boundaries might not be appropriate if they don't reflect your values. And that really, I mean, like I could take a master, or I need a master class just in that concept, like breaking that down. What that, what I was like, wow, that really made me start thinking. And
I was thinking about that actually. Um, I think it was Sunday or yesterday, one of the two, because I'm at dance, for example, and I'm having these different interactions with people, and just realizing like I'm sitting there going like, do I really want to be spend my time right now with this person doing what I'm doing with this person, and so there's that dynamic of why am I still standing here if I value my self-worth and my time and what all this is this a valuable conversation and we're building valuable relationship, whatever, like what is there, what's keeping me here, and I see, oh wow, it's just some I'm asleep, it's an old habit of some kind, you know so
Mhm.
yeah. So what do
Mhm.
I value and what are my boundaries? Oh, my boundary is no, I'm walking away. I'm going to say, oh, I need to go now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I find myself in that situation quite a bit. And I would like to get better at, setting those boundaries earlier. Sometimes when I'm having a conversation and I already know I want to be walking away, but I might still respond to what they said, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And uh yeah, and well, there's something there about, not wanting to be rude, not wanting to hurt somebody's feelings. Um,
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well,
mhm.
we could go down that rabbit hole, sure. Yeah. What about my friends? What
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
what about my
Mhm.
what about my time? And
Mhm.
what's valuable? Ah, yeah, and the trick is to just get quicker at it, like we catch ourselves, be better at catching ourselves sooner. And then we catch ourselves, we have the thought, but then actually obeying that thought. And part of it, I think, is for me is that I haven't spent the time thinking, well, I have the thought. Now, how do I integrate that into my actual behaviors that will function within the system that's like I'm in this conversation? What's a good way to segue from this conversation to the next thing,
Yeah, what's next? Yes.
and so I haven't really given a lot of thought to it. And again, it's like creating new patterns and habits. I'm standing there because I don't know what to do. Well, so I go and spend some time thinking about, well, what is it I could do? Just run some scenarios.
Hmm.
That way, next time I'm in this situation, it's like, oh yeah, I have options, and my brain is looser, it's lubricated now, and have some sense of direction. I can go, oh, I can pull out faster. So yeah, and there are people I've seen in general I've watched or had happen with like, and it's happened naturally sometimes too, right? Where it's like, oh, oh, I need to go talk to that person, or also, oh, I need to go to the bathroom, or whatever it is. But it's like, you're just, and you're out of the conversation. Next thing you know, you're gone and you're doing your next thing. So just again, paying attention to that, asking ourselves, what is my relationship with what I say I value, and spending time pondering it to create new possibilities and new patterns, new habits, new behaviors, so that we can then engage with our boundaries better and our values. Have that integrity. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to get out. I have to get this off the table. So what was the deal with your tire pressure gauge thingy?
Oh, so the car is just getting old and the batteries and the sensors are going out, and so they come and go, and only the driver's side front tire, sensor is still working. Two others are out completely, and one other is, like less than half battery.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So he was able to show it to me on the little screen on his little sensor. It has a picture, and yeah, and he didn't even charge me. So I love that tire store. This is the second time I have gone in there with a problem that they fixed and, or well, didn't fix, but they looked at it. He gave me peace of mind and didn't charge me a penny.
yeah, yeah. And so you'll go back.
You're darn right I will. It was funny the last time that he did something uh like that. He said, "Oh, that's all right. We do that free for everybody who buys their tires here." And I said, "Well, to be honest, I bought that tire in Colorado." So, and he goes, "Ah." He just waved it off. He's like, "Just it'll be." He's like, "You'll buy your next tires here." And I was like, and he's right. See?
Exactly, exactly, exactly. That's like this car place here in Chapel Hill, that it's out of my way in the sense that it's north side of I-85, here in Durham, and I'm staying with my sons at the south end of Durham. But I'll go up there for anything,
Yeah.
So
And he was just, I think they've got it. Yeah, they've really got the right guy at the front desk. He's friendly, he's knowledgeable. He took time to talk to me. Um, it was all in all a great experience.
yeah, so
Has been pretty much every time I've ever been in there.
so we have these companies that have some crazy form of integrity, and their values are, hmm, they might have their values are head screwed on straight here.
Mhm.
So yeah. Oh, anyway, so yeah, so more. We're coming back to values and boundaries and
Mm.
um yeah. So this goes back to a conversation we had. It was last year sometime. We were talking about relationships and what makes a good relationship. I mean, like really, um, and obviously there's all kinds of relationships, but ones that are where you have people that are actually in your life,
Mhm.
and especially personal relationships have I'll say a deeper level of trust and authenticity.
Mhm.
However, we can also have that authenticity in all of our dealings, you know, like yeah, again in business, where you just tell somebody like, no, this doesn't work for me. You say this is what happened, and that your behavior doesn't work for me. Like my Airbnb experience with this woman. It's like I will not stay at her house now. I mean, it's that simple.
Mhm.
I don't like her energy, her attitude, and it just doesn't set with me. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so that's in contrast to your tire guy. It's oh no, here we can look at that, spend a few minutes, and we build rapport and we build, our customer relationships.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. There you
Anyway,
go.
yeah. Apropos of that, you know, we go back to, well, what do I want to do with my life? What am I doing? What really enlivens me? And like, what's what do I like to do? Which is kind of another form of, what do I value?
Mm-hmm.
Just another way of massaging that.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly having this kind of good good conversations, good relationships, as you say, building rapport with people. Um, Something about that just feels satisfying. Just feels good, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's ultimately it's clean and it's just so much easier, um, because the people that your relationships are in their place. It's like everybody knows their place that way instead of there's no guesswork if we have that sort of honesty and that authenticity of just speaking up.
Mm-hmm.
So Um, yeah, and I would add to that that there's can be a really healing aspect because we have people in our lives that see things that we maybe don't want to look at, maybe we don't see. So it'd be very supportive to be even challenged, to say, hey, you're screwing up there. For example, it's like that might sound harsh, but ultimately, if we have integrity, we can and integrity and I'm not sure what some other word wants to be used here, but being able to hear those kinds of things, those negative, what are construed
Mhm.
negative, but not negative because it's advice or it's suggestions or it's information that we can look at and go like, well, oh, I'm behaving that way. I'm doing this. I'm not doing that. And go like, oh yeah, I did that. That integrity.
Yes, Carly, this brings me to being able and our society, I think, valuing really being humble and being able to say you're wrong and that you don't know or that you learned something from this without it really being some, big, character flaw, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So in the news right now, there's a gentleman in Australia. He's a whistleblower. The Australian army in Afghanistan was breaking the law, committing, I'll say, war crimes. I'm not sure that's accurate, but I'm going to use that descriptor in our conversation. And he's just got sentenced to 5 years and 8 months in jail for whistleblowing
Mm,
because he took documents, secret documents, and like, hey, we've been breaking the law, and he just said, I can't hold my head up, I can't I can't live my life and not speak up about this, because otherwise our whole system is a sham, and kind of.
yes.
I mean, he went on, and this it's common. That's a common refrain from well, whistleblowers. But the other side of it is just that how they were recalcitrant and would not admit to anything wrong, and he was the problem. He's in jail now.
Oh my God.
So even though what he put out there, the journalist, he got information to a journalist, and it got published, and it's like, well, it's true. Yeah, they. So it's not just one bad soldier. This is like top down, from the root kind of people up making decisions and
Wow.
and yeah, it's not just like some group of soldiers in Afghanistan. No, it was
Mhm.
clearly higher echelon people that were involved in the process, and they knew it. And then he says brings it to light, and they don't want to admit it. They will not say, "Oh, we fucked up. Yes, we did that." You know, that's an interesting thing to look at. And I mean, still, just how I talk about that, how that feels to me.
Mm,
So no, like, oh my God, it just feels so bad.
mm,
People not in, that are
mm,
in power that behave that way,
mm. Yeah.
and I'm supposed to obey these people? No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a sovereign, I'm a divine sovereign person, individual. Like, wait a minute.
Hmm. There is a sovereignty movement, I hear that word and I know that, and I hear people saying like that's not my government. I don't subscribe to their laws and things like that. And I am like, huh. Huh. I don't know anything about it. More power to them, I think, but I don't really. I mean, it seems like we. I don't know. I start to say it seems like we do have to have some laws, but ideally we would just have education and integration and personal responsibility and mutual aid. You know, but so I think at the heart of it, I would be like a libertarian or sovereignty kind of, but I don't know. There's a lot of questions.
Well, I think again, laws. Hopefully, the laws are based on what a society values, or at least is in concert with that. But obviously, that's not the case, because what we inherit, we've inherited, we continue doing, even though it's really, a lot of us go like, "Whoa, this is not how I would want to do that."
And then
Um,
if people at the very, very, very highest levels aren't even doing it, like this, whatever was just, whatever Australia just did.
yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, we're not following the international laws in Gaza, in
no,
Israel.
no,
I
that's
mean,
it.
international law doesn't mean a diddly squat, right? What?
Well, this is the thing, it's like, okay, we've got people saying, hey, you need to stop, Israel, you need to stop, and you need to pull back, and you need to do these things, and there's no, where's the accountability there? And there's no real, okay, we don't agree with you, but there's nothing we can do. We're going to throw up our hands. Same thing with Russia. It's like, what do you do
Deep
with
breath.
the bully?
Yeah. Hmm. Gotta love them somehow. I know that love is the answer. I know that love is the answer. That's about it. I don't know much more than that.
Well, yeah, yeah. And the problem with that, of course, is, what does that mean? What does that look like? I'm thinking of a time back in, I think it was ninth grade. I had this guy harassing me, and actually I had a couple times in ninth, and then again in 10th or 11th. And a couple of different incidents where I was being, I don't know, so I'll say harassed, just treated like a lesser thing. But anyhow, so
Mm.
the one guy, I just caught him one day, and I stopped him and said, "Hey, so I mean, do you want to fight? I mean, is that what you want to do? Listen, I'll fight you. If that's what you want.
Ugh.
And I just flat said to him, like, calmly, like, it's like, I wasn't like threatening you. I'm just saying, hey, if you want to fight, if that's where you're at, we can do that. You know,
Wow.
and and this guy was taller than me, bigger. He was Cherokee. He was big guy.
Wow.
He spoke Cherokee, and
Wow.
and um, and he's like, oh no. Next thing, I mean, after that, we're friends. We're like, everything's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And another guy, he had my hands full, and he pulled books out of my hand. Um, and I just dropped everything and turned around and came up behind him and started pounding on him.
Mm.
And just I don't know, hit him 3 or 4 times in the head. And he was kind of cowering then. And so, and long story short, the dean of boys was right there. It was amazing how fast he was right there, and pulled us into the office. What, you all know each other? What are you fighting about? And like, let's just knock the books out of my hand. And after that, no problem though. So I don't know what that means. What to how to apply that. In general. In life though. I mean, like with Russia, what do you do? You guys, you can't invade. No, you need to back off. And they go, well, so what if we don't? Like, then what?
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Did I tell you I actually had an interaction with a teenager at the park on Mother's Day. And I was wondering, what I was going to do. On the one hand, this is, probably like a 14 or 15-year-old girl. And on the other, I'm like, well, I don't know. Would I call the police? I mean, are we just going to allow your behavior to be like this? Because I don't think so. And I'm the grandmother on this playground right here. So I'm setting the boundary right now. Like, your behavior will not be tolerated on this playground. Yeah. And she got up off the swing and came at me, got in my face. I was like, whoa. So, funny thing is, she said to me, she goes, I'm with an adult. And I was like, well, good. Where is your adult?
yeah, and
And this woman got up off the bench and she goes, I got this. And she took and she left. They left. I was like, excellent. I'm
well,
so glad that that parent backed me up 100%. But I don't know what the heck she was doing when, why didn't she stand up? Yeah.
Well, did she have her face in a phone or something? Or
Yeah, she did. She had her
yeah,
face on the phone.
yeah. And so I'm curious though, what was this
Well,
15-year-old
so,
doing?
so there were three teenagers there, and they were being, really loud and which was absolutely fine. I was all, I don't mind that at all, them being. But then the boy started pushing this girl too high, and she started going, "Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh shit!" And I was like, This, first of all, yeah, no. It's Mother's Day. This place is packed with 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 8-year-olds. We're not screaming fuck at the top of our lungs across the parking. No,
Well,
not
what
happening.
about the guy? What about the guy pushing her?
Well, it was a fucking baby swing, Carly. She's just being a
Oh,
way overreactive, silly teenage
yeah.
girl.
Okay.
Yeah. No. You can't even get that swing going high enough to actually need to scream about it.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
that's what I mean. They were being really, really, very loud and all of that. And I didn't mind. I don't mind that. I wasn't, let them go. But no. Then you start screaming fuck and shit across. No, not happening. See, it just pisses me off now. I'm like, get that kid out of here. Like, I'm so reactionary. Okay. This is why I breathe, become aware of how, God, my blood's pumping now. Because, but to bring it back to, what would we do? What would I have done if her mother wasn't there and stood up and backed me up? What if her mother would have, stood up and said, "Hey, what are you talking to my daughter?" You know? And the girl was coming at me. I mean, I don't know what she was going to do, but, she was talking. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Ah.
Made me think of my, I value, what do I value, um, I don't know if this is a value or how I would say it, but like, I value and I honor my place as an elder on the earth, especially when I'm at a playground with a bunch of kids. If I see something going on that I think is, hurtful to the kids, I am gonna speak up. Definitely gonna speak up. And then, then what happens if, what would happen if her mom came at me? I don't know.
I think most times of that kind of situation, if she came at you, it would be like she's in your face, but you don't have to worry about her hitting you, with her fist or anything. It's just more of a verbal, like, "What are you doing?" And she might be screaming and shaking her fist at you.
Right.
If she's not really, if she's really that kind of a personality.
Mm-hmm.
But the trick that is in all of it is always staying present and calm. And again, it's you let that energy just blow on by you. And you just stand there, and you
Yeah.
if necessary, you put your hand out. You just like back off. You're too close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I need to practice that because, all that energy, I can feel it. And I feel it also. It's like I feel it circulating through my body, and I have to keep it going like down through my feet to the earth. That's how I feel it, and it's like as long as it's circulating and I'm breathing, I'm just breathing. But I think that's why I need to practice it. Because when I'm in the heat of the moment, it's like well, to me, I think it's very similar to when I grabbed Lizzie's hand. I think I told you about that. Yes, playing in the toilet, and I grabbed her hand. There again, it was like, not that I, yeah, I didn't handle it in the way that I would have liked to, and hopefully we'll do better next time.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I think I'm hearing, of course, is the energy of it, because there's nothing necessarily wrong with grabbing this, a child's hand, you know,
Right.
or blocking them from doing something. But it might have been a certain like abruptness and energy that you did it with.
Exactly. I did it with her having, to basically have the intention of, like, by the way I grab your hand, you're in trouble. you know, you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the same time, she like was kind of put back by that, but it also had what effect?
Mhm. Well,
I mean, should she try again? Did she stop? What happened?
um, she did not. She did not try again. She actually she said, "Grandma, did you just grab my hand and hurt me?" Just broke my heart. I was like, "Oh, sweetheart." I said, "I'm so sorry." I said, "I did not want to hurt you." I said, "But, I was upset that you kept flushing the toilet after I said not to do it." And then she just kind of looked at the floor, you know.
Mm, yeah,
And then I said, "Well, I'm really sorry." I said, "That was not really right of me to grab your hand like that." I said, but I
yeah.
said, "I hope you'll listen to me in the future, when I ask you to do something," which, of course, within an hour later is when she she left the parking lot and gave me a heart attack. So, so then I have to remember she's 4 years old. I cannot have unrealistic expectations of a 4-year old. If you tell a 4-year old to stand there next to the car, can you count on him doing it? No, everybody knows that.
Well, wait a minute, wait a minute. Is no, no? Is it a no? And does everybody know that? And because I can think of 4-year-olds that probably, I mean, I think I know of one right now that I can. When she was 4, like, no, she would have stayed there.
Mm,
Yeah, it's different, different personality, different life experience,
yeah,
different mama, etc.
right. Well, I guess now I know that she's not capable of it. So,
Yeah.
I won't put her in that situation, again. Like you said, next time I'll have to put her in the car, even if
So
I.
wait a minute, and you're going to put yourself in that situation, but not her. Is that it?
Hmm.
You get my point?
No, actually, make it more clear for me. Put,
Well, you're not going to put her in that position, that situation. Is what you said?
uh-huh.
Well, are you going to put yourself in that situation?
Of having all three kids at once?
No, of her be standing there and expecting her to run off and then, or not, or to stand there, I mean, and not run off. What I'm saying is like, it's just, it is about her, not putting her in that situation in the sense of you put her in a different situation, but it's like you too, because all of a sudden you have the situation, you're freaking out. You don't want to be put in that situation either.
Right.
It's
There
about
you
you too.
go.
It's
Okay.
about you too.
I see. I get it. Okay. Yes. 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 Less freakouts. How about that? I like it.
How about what are my boundaries? Oh, I don't want that to happen. You know, which is kind of not. It's kind of a boundary, and yet it's also just, well, I'm thinking, I'm thoughtful, and I recognize this is this child. This is who she is and how she behaves, and I need to be with this way with her. But part of it's also you again being gentle with yourself and having mercy, because how much time have you spent with her over the years here?
Not very much at all.
Yeah. So there's that learning curve that
Yeah.
for everybody, for her and for you.
Yeah. I think when I come back from this trip, I'm going to invite Lizzie over for an overnight, just her. Just her. Let her
That'd
be
be,
away, and then I'll get to form more of a relationship with her. Because yeah,
yes.
when you've got all three of them, it's about the other
Yeah.
two more. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And so that would be an alternative also, just in general, of instead of taking all three of them, you take one or two, and you there's find some alternatives there so that you're not overloaded, and neither is mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Mm.
All right. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, so we keep learning, keep learning. Ah, so I am pondering the things that are on my list today.
Mhm.
And the one is just that spending more time just, in that silent place of going like my body is whole, everything's fine, and I can just be here and be relaxed. And what is calling me? What do I, you know,
Mm.
what's exciting?
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Keep seeing how easy it is to fall back into the old patterns, though. It's so easy.
Mm.
It's familiar. It's comfortable. It hurts, but it's comfortable. Yeah.
Ouch.
But we do it. We keep doing that. Oh, God, I
Mm.
keep doing that. I don't want to do that, but I keep doing that. It's a
Mm.
habit. Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway. Ah,
Ah, yeah, I was just gonna say, take a deep breath into that.
I
Ah.
just think about an experience I had this weekend and how I want to, again, it goes fits right into what we're talking about boundaries and just making it, doing better in that regard, like more in alignment with what my self-worth, my self-value, my divinity, my own boundaries and values. And I'm thinking, yeah, I could have been quicker on the trigger and directed that whole conversation from the get-go. And I think part of it's, yeah, it's like, okay, just I didn't make it a priority. I didn't think it through. I wasn't thoughtful before I got there into that conversation. I was passive. Oh, okay. Hmm. Yeah. So this goes back to, okay, I have plans to go meet up with this person, and then, well, stopping and backing up like and just dropping in and taking time to go, do I really want to spend time with this person? Okay, maybe. Well, it depends on what we're doing. Well, what's up?
Mhm.
What's up? What needs to be discussed in the conversation? What's our relationship? And hmm,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I pre-pave the way. I think about it. I'm thinking about it. I'm not so passive in asleep in my relationships. And apropos of that, I went to the dance Sunday, and here's this person that she's from New York. She used to live here. Her parents still live here in the area, and she and I have a wonderful connection, of some kind of wonderful connection. And
Mm.
she finally, she sees me and she looks and she starts. She's on the dance floor. I'm on the side. She just starts walking slowly, walking over towards me, and we hold each other. And then
Mm.
after the dance, we held each other some more and talked some and held each other more and etc. And the contrast of that, of those relationships and
Mm.
what I value.
Mm.
Oh, yes, I really value that. I really value that connection with that person. I value those types of connections.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mhm. Oh, I love that clarity. I'm letting that soak in. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, this is a kind of relationship where I can ask questions that are like, hey, so, you know, I can say something about her behavior, about something she's doing. I can challenge it and it's okay. She'll receive it. And I
Mm.
can say, hey, so how's our relationship? How are we doing? What are the challenges in our relationship? Is there something that I could do better to improve our relationship? There's things that I'm doing that I shouldn't do.
Mhm.
Those kinds of
Mhm.
things. Just what do you need so I can know how to navigate this relationship so it's a healthy relationship.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah. Just again, in contrast, this. really sweet relationship, and then versus all these other relationships. This woman at this food Sprouts, grocery store over here.
Uh-huh.
She's a trip. I'll just go over there just to talk to her. She's I don't know how old she is. She's Hispanic of she's Hispanic of descent, it looks like, and um, young, and but she's engages me in conversation. Boom, and we start talking about. As a matter of fact, we start talking about that. Like, what do you like to do? She's young. What do you like to do? Have you tried this? She's like right there having a conversation with me. Like, cool.
Mhm.
Oh, we have enough of those in our lives, enough of those often enough. Then all the other ones are like, you know, everything's good. I don't, yeah, it's like I'm not hungry for, I'm not gonna go do something stupid, and try to be in a relationship that's not satisfying. It's like I'm gonna keep going into that place of satisfaction.
Mm,
Oh,
yes.
recognizing it more, seeking it out more, creating it more.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back to the store just to talk to her. I'm gonna figure out what time to go when it's not busy at the store, so I can maybe buy something just as an excuse, to be in line. Anyway, even like I'll walk in the door, if she's not busy, I'll go talk to her. Customer comes, I let her do a thing, and I'll go and come back.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Anyway.
Yeah, that's nice. Probably makes her day more interesting for her too. Helps the day pass.
Oh, clearly, yeah, yeah. That's the thing. That's it's like La Cage aux Folles, It's like, in a sense, this recognition of birds of a feather. Oh, she's kind of like me. She's like engage, boom.
Mhm.
It's funny. She's a people person. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Oh, yeah. And of course, I think of Jerry, for example. Wow, what are next time I can, we get together and have the time to have a talk. Like, what is important to talk about? Just really thinking about that. And so,
Hmm.
to be prepared, and then to create that.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. So you're going to get the car tomorrow and head off down the road?
I'm gonna get in the car this afternoon.
Okay.
I am I'm not sure, but after mapping it out last night, well, I figured if I got in the car about 4 o'clock or so this afternoon, that I could probably drive until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would be somewhere near Kansas City, you know,
Okay.
and that I might just find a place to sleep in my car, you know, and then get up and drive all day tomorrow. After the one thing, I want to sleep in my car, but I have to make sure that I can have good enough either cell or Wi-Fi that I can do this call in the morning.
Ah,
So that'll be part of my endeavor to to find the right place to crash and also be able to have internet,
yeah.
or cell phone. I can do it on cell. So
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. And then when I looked at it from there, it's only like 13 hours from Kansas City to where I have to be on Friday. So, I actually, even though I'm leaving a day late, I still have plenty of time, which is really, really nice. I just might, I might take a day or yeah, I might take a day in the mountains or something like that. I really I like it. I've got a whole pretty much like a whole day of what do I want to do? Where do what's going to unfold? Kind of like you going into the store. I'm just like I'm like open to whatever possibilities, or being alone with and taking the time to do whatever. I might be, it seems like it would make a lot of sense to do some alone time, getting my self prepared and my intention really focused and prepared for this sacred dance that I'm going to. In fact, I just remembered that her email said that all the dancers tie tobacco ties, 108 tobacco ties for their prayers, and they're just tiny little tobacco ties, but each one is a prayer. And the supporters, which I'm a supporter, um, are invited to do that if they want. And so that would be a really good thing. It'd be a really nice thing to sit somewhere in the Rocky Mountains and just take the time to, tie up those tobacco ties and get myself really intentional and present
Yeah,
for.
yeah. Get reoriented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Get off the road and get grounded and centered and take
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah,
remember, when I was out there at Miles's place, which is, really in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert, just on the side of the mountains. And I could do Zooms from there. I had service and all, so I think I'll be able to find places to.
yeah. You'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the time I came out of Colorado through Kansas, and it was at night. It was wintertime, and like and it's so flat there, but it also drops from Colorado down toward as you headed toward the Mississippi. It's like the elevation is dropping, so you could see way off in the distance. That it's like, oh, it's that next town. Those lights out there, they're like 10 miles out or whatever, and they're lower than we are. We're dropping in elevation. It was really a fun experience.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, it's kind of funny because I really feel called to take the southern route, which would take me like really, it takes you down to Highway 40 through Memphis. There are all these towns: Memphis, Tulsa, something else. There were towns, cities, whatever, that I've heard of all my life, never been to, and would
Yeah,
like to go to. Um, and it lands me in Albuquerque, and I could, stop by and give Julie a hug, and wouldn't she be surprised? um, it takes me a little bit out of my way, but I have the time, and so we'll see. We'll see where I end up going. The northern route through Kansas City, or maybe I will decide to go down south, the southern route.
yeah. Well, if you go down to Memphis, then hit I-40, then you're Little Rock, Salem Springs. Um, wait, I'm drawing a blank now. Is it
Do you go
Tulsa?
through the Panhandle? Do you go through Amarillo, Texas? I was thinking.
You do if you're down that southern route. You do. You go through Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
Which
Oklahoma City.
yeah, go through Oklahoma City. Yeah,
And I'm going to come back the northern route because I'm coming back through Denver. And I really have a thing about taking the same route twice. I mean, why not? I mean, it's a couple hours difference out of my way, but man, a couple hours, who cares? You know, that's nothing. I think I'm going to take the southern route, and then I'll come back the northern route. And like you say, when you come down out of the mountains and you're coming down into Kansas and you see all those cities down there, it's kind of a cool thing.
yeah, it is. Especially in contrast to being in the mountains of Colorado. Yeah,
Mm,
Mexico, whichever. It's hmm. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's
What are
see.
you up to today, and how is your time going in North Carolina?
Well, I saw this therapist on Saturday, and my body has definitely shifted since then. Still experiencing a lot of pain and stiffness in various places, but it's moving around in different places. And I just know that I just need to keep, you know, being gentle with myself and patient. Um, and Otherwise, yeah, it's just hanging out here. I mean, it's raining here today. It's been beautiful weather, but now it's cool and rainy, and which is fine. So I'm just endeavoring to take care of things that I need to take care of. Finding a new doctor.
Mm.
um, Got some of the little things that are hanging that I need to take care of. Just thinking about my values and about, again, just try to endeavoring to really feel into who am I? This aspect of I don't want to do the things I used to do. I was thinking about this. Gee, it was this morning, as a matter of fact, in the twilight of my waking, of thinking about it. Like, well, I do enjoy music, and I enjoy having a good sound system. But do I really want to build any more speakers? I mean, part of me's like, if the situation is right, maybe, but I don't have my priorities in order. I don't have I'm not living this life that's really satisfying as a foundation. And without that in foundation, I don't really want to do all these other things. They're not so satisfying.
Yes, yes, I totally get that. You've got to have the satisfying, foundation before anything extracurricular feels right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, I get up in the morning and I have no purpose. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Mm.
And
Mm.
again, values like, well, do I care about the environment? Do I care about the world? Do I care what? Oh, I care about. Do I care about education? Well, I do, but what does that mean? I was thinking about that yesterday, going deeper into,
Mm.
well, if I value education, but what kind of education? Because it's not just about book learning. It's about being really a good human being, of like having a brain and really thinking and knowing yourself and all these different aspects. So that's what I really find valuable and important. So I don't want to just support schools, so kids go to school. Well, yeah, that, but no, that's not
Yeah,
my primary value. And
exactly.
so there's like again diving deeper into, well, oh yeah, these are great words, values, all these value words, but it's like, yeah, what does it mean? And what does it mean to me? And what is my relationship with it? So I'm just sitting with that some more, just continuing to do with that. Um, Again, like this morning, I went to the store. It's like I just could, like I wanted to get out. It's really clear. I just want to at least get out of the house, have some human contact.
Mm.
So, and again, the contrast I had with, going to the dance and having this friend that's there and like just having that experience, like, wow, that's really, I actually had a vision this morning. It was a dream, a vision. I don't know what it was, of me living in I was in an environment where there were two women at the table, like kitchen table, and there's some other people there, at least one other person there, and I was there, and the sense was like I'm in my home, and this is my partner at the table, and this is my other friend's partner, or my other friend and her partner, here, and we're at home, and we're hanging out, we're talking and eating and whatever. And it's like it just had a really satisfying feeling about it.
Hmm.
And again, it's like, so okay, that's yeah, there's that. I could feel like, yeah, I want that. I want to have a satisfying personal relationship, with one individual, is like that kind of partnership, and also, want these other people in my life and, this lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because one of the thoughts was, well, if I met somebody and she had all the money in the world, it's like, so we could live anyway, any way we wanted to, and anywhere. What would I do? What would I then do with my life? You know,
Mm.
and again, kind of pushing, getting money out of the way. There's no, that's not an excuse, you know,
Mhm.
and the distraction, as a matter of fact, to think about it in that regard. And so
Mm.
it's like, so again, what would I do if I want this, but what else am I doing? What else am I doing? Or
Mhm.
maybe what we are doing. I don't know. So that's the thing. So Oh, so that's what I'm about. I'm sitting with that. I'm endeavoring to feel myself into that. Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Good focus, good intention. Good morning, good day.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Well, great. Well,
So I trust that when you're on the road, you'll have that kind of weird experience that happens on the road where our brains are in a different place. We're thinking about different things, and it's a wonderful wonder. I find road trips can be wonderful. So I trust that you're going to have a safe and wonderful trip.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I am, yeah, yep. I'm a traveler, at heart, and it's been a while, so yeah, it's really good for me, to I was thinking even this morning as I'm, beginning to fold my, choose what clothes I'm taking and things like that. Like it's something about like focusing my life down into a backpack, and especially like I'm a very organized packer. Like I know every single pack, where everything goes in my pack. I have, and so there's, yeah, something that is really good for me, to uh, just focus me down, So yeah,
Yeah. 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 It's packing on yeah. It's always such a trip. What to take and limiting things. Making that decision of, well, I'm going to limit. And then you see exactly, well, what do you really, really do need? Especially once you get there.
yes.
Well, I
Right.
didn't need that. Oh, what else don't I need in my life?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly. All right. Well, wonderful. All of these
Onward.
lessons. Onward and upward, and see
Yeah.
you tomorrow.
All righty. Sweet, sweet. Have a sweet day. Have a sweet drive. Catch you later.
Yeah, you too. Hope you have a wonderful day.
You too.
Lots of
Bye.
good conversations and friendships.
Yay.